What's up, Renegade Nation? Before we begin the video, I'd like to give a big shout out to our most recent patron saints, Thar Dorwin, Colt Seaman, Julius Urado Jr., Thoher, OM Gino, Great on Booth, and Ethan Bergeron. Thank you so much for your support, and if you want to support us on Patreon, feel free to click the link below in the description to find out more. Thanks again. You know, something has occurred to me. Ghost Rider can burn souls. Like, he can just look into a person's eyes and literally burn their soul away. I mean, that's metal as f***. I don't care what anyone says. That's metal.
That's at least 89 to 90% metal, I would say.
Yeah. Probably going to have to edit out that F-bomb in the beginning because that's way too close to the beginning for my comfort.
Yeah.
Well, so the penitence stare, does it work on the person if they don't feel guilty about the stuff they've done?
I don't know.
I thought that was amplified by, like, their guilt.
Well, if
I guess
that's
it's
the
different.
case, well, if that's the case, then
But then I guess if you don't have a soul.
apparently in the movie, which I can't believe I'm actually going to the movie for a thought, then the one character at the end, the Devil's Son, apparently shouldn't have been sorry.
Well, the guy that was
Wes Bentley.
Blackheart.
Yeah,
that
Blackheart,
wasn't
thank
actually Blackheart because Blackheart looks like a super cool predator guy
Yeah, in which,
with the dreadlocks, but whatever.
yeah, I mean,
That's
instead
beside
they make him an uninteresting, pasty ass.
Well, I mean, if you don't have a soul, you don't have a soul. I mean, what do you do?
I'm sure
Yeah.
they'll tell us exactly how it works here in the video.
Yeah, I guess
probably,
so.
I
So
only have exposure to the movie in terms of Ghost Rider as well, and then I just have what friends have told me about the comics.
the comics are good. The comics are very interesting because Johnny Blaze is effectively a lot of people's Ghost Rider, but they've moved on. Actually, in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., who was they had a
Oh, yeah.
it was the other guy that took over later, a Latino guy.
I didn't know they had a Ghost Rider in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
He didn't have a motorcycle, though. He had a car. He
Yeah.
drove like a Mustang or something.
Yeah, which is stupid if you ask me, because to me Ghost Rider
It's not the
always
same.
looks
Yeah.
badass with that flaming motorcycle from hell.
I
And
mean,
I
you could do like a modernized version of it though and make it still look cool.
You could, but
Depending on how you
but
did it.
dude, a motorcycle to me is a lot better in terms of maneuverability and just being a lot more intimidating than
Wait,
a
what
car.
did you say he had? Oh, he had a car.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, I was saying like you could modernize the motorcycle, like instead of like if you had a new Ghost Rider come up, instead of having him ride like an old Harley, you could have like a more streamlined guy
A
on
crotch
on a
rocket or something
Suzuki,
like that.
something like that.
Yeah, crotch rocket, and that could work too. But
I will say, though, that in the Nick Cage movie, when he teamed up with the old Ghost Rider and like they had like the fire horse,
the awesome ride.
That was some pretty cool imagery. I did really enjoy that.
And then guess what they did?
And then he just poof.
He was just like, that was my last ride. Have fun, kid. And I'm
Yep.
like, you rode all the
Seriously?
way down here, Sam Elliott.
Yeah.
We want you to kick some ass, man.
Yeah, that was a bummer. The imagery was super cool.
Oh yeah, seeing the two Ghost Riders riding side by side, I'm just like, yeah, we're gonna kick some ass. Sam, where are you going? No.
Like I would, I think like an Old West Ghost Rider would be way more entertaining for me than a motorcycle Ghost Rider.
I'd love that. Actually, I'd like to see multiple facets of it. For instance, I'd like to see Ghost Rider in the modern day do a couple, maybe 3 movies worth of it, and then do a prequel where we go back to the Old West and see the origins of another Ghost Rider. Perhaps like a Latino, like a gaucho. Like a gaucho.
It would be interesting actually to see like some other characters cameo in like a Wild West Marvel setting as well.
That'd
like,
be cool.
Maybe Hellboy or somebody.
Yeah, I could see that.
Like I don't know if technically the timelines would line up on him, but he is
Not
a demon.
really.
He is a
Well,
demon, so
it
technically he
depends.
shouldn't be able to be
Doesn't
alive
Hellboy
that
do
far
some
back.
Time travel?
Well, I mean, they could do time travel easy or
That's
something.
true.
I mean,
Time travel's usually the easy out, but
and I mean, literally, like since Hellboy's wandering through all the various planes of hell, at this point in juncture, like he could like slip out and come out in a different time because
Yeah, all of a sudden he'll come out and then he'll just be like, "Oh boy." And
But,
then
I mean,
he'll
you
be
could even
surrounded
have,
by a
like-
bunch of bandoleros.
you could even have like as small of a cameo as just like, oh, this is I don't know, like Jim Thomas Stark or whatever, you know, and he owns the bank in the town, and it's just like.
Well, no, I would see him as like a more of a harebrained inventor. Sort of like a Doc Brown.
Yeah.
And his son is a lot more, and he later learns that, you know, you have to be more economical and you have to make stuff for everyone, not just yourself.
The little-known partner of Nobel that actually invented dynamite.
Damn. I actually like that.
That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, just basically
Alexander
like some
Nobel
distant,
and his fun and his
some distant
friend,
relations of like
John
modern
Stark.
superheroes would be interesting.
Yeah. Gosh, that'd be fun. But also
Lobo I have
yeah.
no experience of except for playing as him in DC.
I feel like
yeah.
I feel like they both have
whatever it was
motorcycles.
called.
That's why this.
Well, they do. Well, Lobos can like fully fly. His is just like.
Dude, they have a Cosmic Ghost Rider comic where Ghost Rider's driving through space on his motorcycle and has
Injustice. Yeah, that's the.
And he's got like baby Thanos. I mean, it's like they've done weird stuff with it.
Well, they have, but in terms of the lore that's fully accepted and seen by the public, Johnny Blaze, his Ghost Rider motorcycle could ride up buildings, could ride all over the place, like do impossible things, but it could never fully fly. But that didn't mean Johnny Blaze could not get at his enemy from the ground. I mean, his chain that he could throw at people,
pretty cool.
He could literally like rip Lobo off of it, and they could fight on the ground. And yeah, I mean, there's just a lot to go with these characters.
So one other thing is just like, can Johnny Blaze die, or is he kind of immortal at this point? Like,
depends on how much of his power he uses, because he is weak enough. When he gets weak enough, whenever his fire is being close to put out, that he actually can be killed. I mean, all you really
Lobo,
have to do is kill his heart. Like,
I don't know
destroy
what
his
Lobo's
heart.
supposed to be. Like, is he
Lobo is effectively
bounty hunter.
A space bounty hunter.
So an extraterrestrial?
Yeah, extraterrestrial.
Okay. I didn't know if he was like a demon or undead or what.
Who has fought Superman a lot. He's basically been a pain in the Justice League's ass for the last, I don't know, 15, 20 years since he became more mainstream. And now he's actually on the show Krypton got canceled, so they were talking about doing a Lobo spinoff just because of how popular the character was on there.
He was probably my favorite character in Injustice. I really liked him.
He's a good one.
Pretty cool.
He's a really good character.
People need to give props for Krypton. That's the only show that's done like a lot of the character designs justice, like Lobo and Doomsday.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
I don't even understand why it's so hard for people to do Doomsday.
And now it's canceled. Bye, Krypton.
Because like even Smallville never really gave Doomsday any justice.
No, it never did, and that sucks. They didn't even do Darkseid justice.
No.
Jesus, how do you fuck up Darkseid?
I will say though that like Michael Rosenbaum as Lex Luthor in Smallville was fantastic.
Oh, dude,
like,
he's the best Lex Luthor probably ever. I mean, after he left the show, who else was there to anchor it down?
Like,
Tom Welling was an okay Superman.
Yeah, that early show was just fantastic. It got weird in the middle, and then like when they did the early Justice Society stuff or whatever, beginning to the Justice League, that was cool.
I'd say seasons 1 through 5 were probably the best that Smallville had, and then after that, I think Michael Rosenbaum eventually saw. He was just like, okay, I'm probably gonna have to get off this train. 2 more seasons, everybody, and then I'm out. And then, of course,
he came back for the series finale.
He did, though. He did, and I'm glad that he did. But still, I mean,
I would like to hang out with Michael Rosenbaum. He seems like a really cool guy.
Yeah, and you know, his DC influence doesn't just end with him playing Lex Luthor. He also voices the Flash.
Yeah.
He also voiced the Flash in Justice League, which is awesome. He was probably my favorite character in. Well, of course, you have your common staples, Kevin Conroy as Batman, who is always going to be like one of my number one. Just having him sign your artwork at that one convention.
He sort of sits on a pedestal all his own, like, because it's like everyone just sort of accepts that Kevin Conroy is like the best Batman ever, and then you have your favorites after that because it's just like he's up here somewhere.
I don't know, because I don't ever hear many people mention him when they're talking about the best Batman.
Well, it's just in terms of the animated series and Justice League. In terms of voice, he is Batman.
Yeah, I can see that, I guess.
I
guess everybody's always discussing who's the best Batman in the live action films.
Well, that's like that takes Mark Hamill out of the equation in terms of the Joker.
Oh yeah, and obviously Mark Hamill's the best Joker.
I mean, It's easy to beat
best
up on the
Joker voice.
CW, but Kevin Conroy will in fact be a live-action Batman in Infinity Crisis.
That's right. I read about that. That's awesome.
So the CW does good stuff sometimes.
Hell yeah.
God. All right, here we are. We're nerding out over both Marvel and DC. So hey, can't say we're just like blind fanboys of either. We like both, guys. So if you're gonna pull that bullshit, spout it in the comment section and give us your money. Go ahead.
Sorry, Dark Horse, Hellboy all the way. Except that last movie was horrible.
Oh, I know, right? I had someone trying to defend it, and I'm like, and I actually like asked him, "What did you like about it?" He's like, "Well, Mila Jovovich is hot," and I'm like,
well, I mean, water's wet. Like, I mean, we're not treading any new ground here. Like, the movie's still not good.
God. Okay, here we go. This is Ghost Rider versus Lobo, Marvel versus DC, Death Battle. Let's see what happens.
Whether it be justice, vengeance, or the thrill of the kill, bounty hunting isn't for the faint of heart.
Especially when your usual targets are superheroes.
The Ghost Rider, Marvel's relentless spirit of vengeance.
And Lobo, the space-hogging main man of DC Comics. He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle. Even at a young age, Johnny Blaze lived life on the edge. Son to the accomplished cyclist Barton Blaze, he was sadly witness to his father's death in a stunt gone wrong.
But he got adopted by another stuntman, Crash Simpson. It's no surprise that Johnny became a stunt performer himself until Crash's wife died in a stunt gone wrong.
Only now apparently aware that motorcycles can be dangerous, Johnny swore to never perform again.
Okay.
And Crash got cancer.
Okay. This fact here makes me laugh.
Hates Daredevil.
He
He
wants
wants
the
the
name.
name. I did not know that.
That's awesome.
Makes sense, though. I don't know. Ghost Rider's a really cool name.
It is. Ghost Rider is an awesome name, but I can see
I
why
like
he
that
would want
name
Daredevil.
over Daredevil, but it does make more sense with his backstory, I guess.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I hate to pause there. It's just, I thought that was hilarious.
And he's a fan of David Bowie.
Yeah. Even
Yeah.
I don't have parent issues this bad.
Completely devastated, Johnny refused to let Crash die. Willing to risk it all, he turned to the one person who could fix everything.
Everyone's favorite problem solver, Satan.
Hail Satan!
This was Mephistopheles, one of the
Good
many
South
lords
Park
of hell
reference
who
there.
happened to have a special interest in Johnny's family line. To save Crash's life, he cut a deal with the devil, curing the cancer at the cost of selling his soul. The deal succeeded, and Crash was healed, but then he died in, well, a stunt gone wrong.
I mean, he's a stuntman whose name is Crash. Should have seen it coming. And after all that, Johnny got stuck with being Mephisto's bitch for eternity.
Mephisto even sandwiched him together with a demonic spirit of vengeance named Zarathos.
Zarathos, ask your doctor if it's right for you, or your exorcist.
Long ago, Zarathos was a powerful demon who threatened Mephisto's realm. Eventually, Mephisto defeated him, forcing him into eternal servitude.
And with their power combined, Johnny and Zarathos roved the world, punishing the wicked as the embodiment of a death metal album cover, the Ghost Rider.
Yeah.
Ah! Oh god, that's terrifying!
Well, sure, his visage instills fear unto many.
What? No, Ghost Rider looks awesome! I'm talking about Nick Cage.
Agreed. Anyway,
Yeah,
as the
yeah,
Ghost
looks not
Rider,
good.
he became one of the universe's greatest threats. He has superhuman strength and speed, and his skeletal body can regenerate from practically any amount of damage.
And if Blaze's last name wasn't obvious enough, he can shoot fire! Oh, but not just any fire, hellfire.
Yeah.
The best kind of fire.
The kind that's infused with magic that burns not just your flesh, but bypasses conventional defenses to attack your very soul. He can throw fireballs, raise walls of flame, rain fire from the sky, and even conjure weapons and objects out of thin air, such as a demonic shotgun and an infinite stream of chains.
And his badass ride, the Hell Cycle. This
Yeah.
baby can look however Johnny wants, but he usually summons it as a panhead chopper. It can respond to Johnny's thoughts, scale walls, and even outrace Thor's hammer Mjolnir.
The same hammer that crossed a galaxy and back in a single minute.
Whoa.
You know, I lit my
That's
chopper
fast
on
bike.
fire once.
I didn't know you had a motorcycle.
Well, yeah, up until the fire.
Oh.
Rest in peace, Roadhog. At least you went out in a blaze of glory, like Bon Jovi said.
But while his hellfire and chains are vicious weapons in their own right, they're often used to ensnare the Ghost Rider's victims as he goes in for a truly diabolical kill. Or should I say, a penance.
The penance stare is basically Hell's timeout corner of pain. Ghost Rider isn't angry, he's just disappointed, and he wants you to think about what you've done, and it to hurt. A lot.
Under the penance stare, the Ghost Rider forces you to relive all the pain and misery you've inflicted on others throughout your entire life. No indiscretion, no matter how minor, is safe from the Ghost Rider's gaze.
So that time I put ground laxatives in my 4th grade math teacher's coffee and gave her the shits, does that mean the stare would give my soul the shits too?
Not literally, but you would experience the anger, humiliation, and the butt cramps.
So basically eternal damnation, got it.
But should your sins be so numerous and terrible, the penance stare could even obliterate your soul, leaving you an empty husk.
The stare doesn't work on everybody though. You might survive if you're blind, don't have a soul, draw power from pain, or if you're a weirdo like Thanos who gets off on that shit. Still, Ghost Rider's grab bag of hell powers let him tear up some of the biggest assholes in the world, and even some of the good guys like Hulk, Thor, and Doctor Strange.
He's quick enough to dodge bullets or even outright catch them in his teeth. He's powerful enough to create massive eruptions, blow up mountains, and even tear down a skyscraper. The average skyscraper weighs over 200,000 tons. That's the same weight as 1,100 blue whales.
Or one ex-wife. I'm gonna write that on her next alimony check.
And given his hellish heritage, he's rather difficult to kill.
Bullets, poison, fire, he survived it all. Even a beatdown from World War Hulk just got him even more pissed and extra flamey.
Not just that. Remember Zarathos? Johnny Blaze isn't simply a host for the demon, but a limiter for his full power. Throughout his life as the Rider, Johnny has constantly battled Zarathos in the mind, barely holding on to some semblance of sanity. Should his will to resist the demon falter, Zarathos can take full control, and all hell breaks loose. Not literally, but pretty close.
Oh, and plot twist, Zarathos was never actually a demon at all, but an angel of justice. Fire skull head and everything. When he's unleashed, he becomes so powerful, even Doctor Strange wets his robes. And this is the guy who pops supernovas like Pez.
While Zarathos was bonded to another host, they even managed to defeat Mephisto in his own realm. For reference, Mephisto once battled Galactus, devourer of worlds. Stars detonated, galaxies trembled, and the entire universe was at risk, simply as a byproduct of their battle.
And if Zarathos wasn't terrifying enough, he likes to eat souls.
Of course, the Ghost Rider isn't invincible. Johnny is technically vulnerable as an ordinary human being. Even while transformed, the Rider can be killed via holy weaponry.
But Johnny's doing alright, sitting pretty on Mephisto's throne. I guess things worked out okay for him, even if he's not too keen on being the devil's bounty hunter.
So let this be a warning. Should you ever hear the rumble of a motorcycle in the distance and the glow of an ethereal flame on the horizon, count your sins, because the Ghost Rider is coming. And may God have mercy on your soul.
Sorry, all out of mercy.
Let's turn the clocks back to a distant era of sin and debauchery.
The 1990s.
Inspired by the financial success of Watchmen and The Dark Knight Returns, comic writers started churning out grim and gritty superheroes by the dozen, like Cable, Azrael, and Overkill.
Yeah, they were badass looking at first, but I mean, what's even happening here?
It got so absurd that someone needed to knock these roided out monstrosities down a peg.
The world needed a hero. No, a parody.
Enter the planet Zarnia, once the brightest beacon of peace and happiness in the universe, until its inhabitants were annihilated by a biological catastrophe, leaving only one survivor, the last son of Zarnia, Lobo.
The one that killed all the rest of them. A guy whose name literally translates in Zarnian to he who devours your entrails and thoroughly enjoys it. What? Awesome! Why wasn't I named that?
Lobo is so unimaginably evil that his birth caused the midwife who delivered him to go insane. The first Zarnian to do so in 10,000 years.
Some even think that Zarnia was so perfect and good, the universe made Lobo to balance things out. Hey, didn't you say the same thing about me when we first met, Wiz?
That I did. Simply put, Lobo was unique and desired to be even more so. Thus, he ensured he was the only Zarnian alive in the universe.
I fragged the rest of the planet for my high school science project. Gave myself an A.
Yeah, he's definitely insanely awesome!
Lobo left the desecrated corpse of his former home to become a bounty hunter, probably because it's the only profession that legally allows him to murder.
Don't worry, he'll murder you illegally too. Lobo doesn't discriminate. He even has a special gender-neutral insult in the name of my next motorcycle, Bastitch.
My bike! Ragged bastard.
Anyway, Lobo's bagged some pretty crazy bounties across the universe, including Santa Claus, 2 near-omnipotent dwarf gods, and even things that don't exist, apparently.
And Lobo's Zarnian physiology is just as absurd to match. He possesses godlike strength, speed, and invulnerability, so much so that he can tear through hordes of superheroes like nothing. Should he somehow suffer damage, he also has an impressive healing factor.
He's like if Superman and Deadpool had a baby, which is a lot more terrifying when I say it out loud.
Did somebody say Deadpool?
No, go away! There. He's gone.
Can't hurt us anymore.
I didn't think you had it in you.
Oh, honey, that's not true. Haven't you heard? No one's ever really gone. See you later.
I swear to God I'll kill him someday.
So, you had the replacement plan on that TV, right?
Back on topic, Lobo can regenerate from a single drop of blood, and each one he sheds will actually grow into a completely new Lobo.
That's disgusting.
No, I'm not making that up.
No wonder there wasn't any war on Zarnia. Nobody can kill these friggin' Bastitches.
It helps that he's also a super genius who knows well over 17,000 languages. He can perform complex physics equations in his head quickly enough to catch the Flash, and can build planet-destroying weaponry out of garbage.
His brain is no joke. He can resist mind control because he's too ornery, and he's got so much willpower he can literally walk through Green Lantern constructs. You know, those things powered by willpower?
And befitting his occupation, Lobo is a master sharpshooter, tracker, and can, by his own admission, deduce the weak points in any opponent.
Like how my shotgun leg jams if booze gets in it.
I would have gone with your crippling alcoholism, but sure, that too. Lobo may be a powerhouse on his own, but he also comes equipped with guns, knives, swords, grenades, and a bomb that he sent back in time which accidentally killed the dinosaurs. Whoops.
His favorite
It was
is
you!
his enormous hooked chain. But when his job takes him across the universe, he hops on his Space Hog, a customized Spaz Frag 666, which has automatic machine guns, responds to his whistle, can fly fast enough to escape black holes, and blasts Born to be wild. Wait. How can he sing in the vacuum of space?
Oh, that's where you're drawing the line? Not the time he, say, pulled the alien entity Solaris out of the sky, which is as heavy as a star, despite lacking leverage?
I like how he even admits that didn't make any sense.
Using a small to medium-sized star like our own sun as a reference, Solaris should weigh nearly 2 octillion tons, over 300,000 times heavier than Earth.
So, pretty tough to bench press. But how about the time he was fighting some rabbits and then he got so face-meltingly angry that he just straight up ate a city, all at once? Disclaimer, don't eat away your feelings. It's not healthy. Drink them away instead.
Don't do that. But that is trillions of tons of steel and rubble condensed into a sphere smaller than the palm of his hand. By my calculations, that compressed ball should be over 20 times denser than a neutron star.
Oh God, imagine that coming out.
This
I
unimaginable
don't want
strength
to.
lets him brawl with the likes of Superman. But that's barely scratching the surface.
Name anybody in DC Comics and it's likely Lobo's kicked their ass. He can even punch ghosts. Sounds like the only thing that can kill this guy is an act of God.
Not even that. After rampaging through heaven and hell, tearing through armies of angels, demons, and what have you, Lobo's bloodlust on a literally biblical scale got him banned from the afterlife. As in, death was told that Lobo's soul was not to be collected.
So he just can't die now?
Not in the traditional sense. He's had his head disintegrated, been reduced to a skeleton, even been turned into a spirit that just kept on fighting until he got his body back.
The only thing that has ever really held the big lug back is his weirdly consistent integrity. Namely, he'll always keep his word no matter what. Seems pretty weird for a cosmic madman, but he also loves dolphins and will literally go to hell and back to protect them, so who even knows anymore?
He's not without his failures, though. His greatest of which was perhaps something entirely out of his control. His reboot.
What the hell is that scrawny, emo, Edward Cullen-ass looking dork?
That's New 52 Lobo. A serious, tortured, modern interpretation. Everything that Lobo was meant to be a parody of.
Thankfully, someone at DC developed a sense of irony and literally shelved this loser.
The real Lobo returned better than ever and got back to doing what he does best.
Damn right.
Kicking ass across the universe. He's not just some two-bit alien villain. He's the main man, and the whole universe knows it.
See, someone's paid me a heap of cash for your carcass, and the main man always delivers.
All right, the combatants are set, and we've run the data through all possibilities.
Okay.
But first, rev up your engines for this delicious food deal. With Blue Apron.
Okay. Let's
Creative and you and get com/battle.
Blue Apron, a better way to cook.
But right now, it's time for a death battle!
Lobo.
I mean, given that he's like a parody and is so overpowered over everything, including like demons and angels and stuff, it's like
Yeah, the fact that he not only holds his own, but has verified whipped Superman's ass. And
well, I was more like he apparently went to the afterlife and like, you know, like he was defeating all these like crazy like godlike beings. So,
yeah, and then not only that, but also he looked at he pretty much looked at all the afterlife angels, God, devil, and all of them alike, and was just like, and just pretty much just told them all to like I don't need you.
Yeah, because I mean, it's like I understand like Zarathos, you know, beat Mephisto, and Mephisto and Galactus almost destroyed the entire universe, but it's like, what's a universe to the entire afterlife? I mean, presumably. So it's like, I don't even know why they did this battle now, because I thought Lobo was a little overpowered, but after seeing this, it's like, I don't even know why they made it.
I don't
to be
either.
honest.
It's essentially like another Deadpool, from what I can tell.
Well, he's more DC's Deadpool. I mean, that to me is, in all honesty, the best. To me, that's like the best synopsis I can think of for him, because he is the parody, and instead of Death having an obsession with him, instead, all of the religious entities just literally said, "Don't collect his soul. Let him stay in nothingness for all eternity." To which I guarantee Lobo's just like, well, might as well play solitaire. Oh, crap, I'm missing a card.
But it's like he's literally been beaten to the point he was a spirit and got his body back.
I mean, it's like,
so I don't think he can really...
Yeah.
The fact that he has a spirit tells me that I guess he has a soul, but I don't know if Ghost Rider can obliterate his soul or not.
I mean, they won't take him in the afterlife, so it's like literally nothing's gonna work. I mean,
nothing. Yeah, literally nothing is going to work.
I mean, if your soul's obliterated, you don't exist anymore. Essentially, there wouldn't be an afterlife for that. So that's potentially the only reason that he could beat him. But I just kind of feel like data-wise, Lobo has the clear advantage and is probably gonna win this. So.
I don't know, man. This is going to be an interesting one.
Depends on whether they're like, despite all the advantages and everything, there's nothing you can really do to prevent yourself from having your soul destroyed, unless you're blind, which Lobo's not. So.
I mean, maybe Zarathos could do it. I don't know, but I mean, he apparently has killed angels and demons before, so
maybe.
I don't know.
I mean, I don't. That's the key. You don't know.
Because I mean, it's like, you know, the Rider, he can outrun Thor's hammer. But I mean, Lobo like basically outran the gravity of a black hole, so it's like, I mean,
that's even even more ridiculous.
Black holes kind of trump.
So basically, I'm saying I'm pretty sure Lobo's going to win, and that's exactly how he's not if he's not. So
well, and
but I doubt he's not.
Here's one thing I've noticed. Whenever they stack it, obviously, the only time it hasn't worked out was when Lucy went up against Carnage. And I was just like, I don't think that there's any chance in hell that Ghost Rider has him winning, but I guarantee you they're going to pull something out of their ass that's going to just be like, well, he actually had this.
I mean, I would rather that. I like Ghost Rider better as a character.
God. All right. Anyway, let's get to it. Let's see what happens. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Starting out in the desert.
Is that Grimace?
He just killed Grimace.
What the frag?
Lobo of Zarnia, your sins are innumerable. I am here to...
He doesn't give a fuck.
Okay.
Gaze my bounty! I'm gonna skull frack ya! You one ugly freak.
Look into my eyes. Your soul will burn.
Is that a fact now?
The stare already didn't work, so
Yeah.
pretty sure Lobo's got this.
Bottoms up!
It's done. About time.
Not yet, scuzzball!
Here we go. The multi-Lobos. Dog pile. Oh, he's pulling out the big one.
Die screaming! Eat this, you bastards!
Huh. Damn, that's a pretty sweet hole in the world.
Holy fraggaroli. I definitely ain't picking up that bounty now. Lobo of Zarnia, your sins are innumerable. I am here to wreak vengeance upon your soul.
Oh, penitent stare. Really?
Okay.
Damn,
So
that
they
was
did get him with
toasty. Wonder what Ghost Lobo tastes like.
Being so absurdly powerful, Lobo definitely held a massive physical advantage against the Ghost Rider.
Yeah, that was obvious. Skullhead took down a skyscraper while Lobo dragged around a frickin' sun. But Ghost Rider survived some pretty incredible things. Almost as incredible as these new shirts from store.roosterteeth.com. Ah!
Time and place, Boomstick.
Come on, we gotta eat.
Even World War Hulk couldn't finish him off, and Lobo didn't typically carry any holy weapons, which meant he really did not have a good way of killing the Ghost Rider.
Yeah, but who needs holy weapons when you're strong enough to crush a whole city? Couldn't he just overpower Johnny?
A good question. However, do you recall how powerful Zarathos was? Zarathos was an equal threat to Mephisto, whose battles tore apart the universe. Once the Ghost Rider released his true power, Lobo's physical advantages hardly mattered anymore.
But hey, the main man was super smart and probably could have figured out Johnny's weaknesses. But how is he gonna escape to find a holy weapon somewhere when the Hell Cycle outraced Mjolnir?
Which once crossed the Milky Way and back in under a minute, a feat more than 100 billion times faster than light. More
Okay.
than capable of keeping up with the Space Hog.
They were both as unkillable as you can get. But since Lobo was banned from the afterlife, how could he ever lose?
This is where the fine print matters. Death was banned from reaping Lobo's soul, but that doesn't mean the soul itself could not be destroyed. This is where our research surprised us the most. It turns out the Ghost Rider had 3 different methods of specifically targeting Lobo's soul.
His hellfire could hurt the soul directly, and since it ignores normal defenses, Lobo couldn't really stop it.
With trillions of murders on Lobo's hands, the Penance Stare could wield extraordinary power against him. And while Lobo had a high pain tolerance, he did not enjoy fatalistic agony and unending torture so much that he'd survive all of that at once.
Even if he did, Zarathos could just gobble up his soul for a quick snack. The end. Easy as that.
Lobo was undeniably a difficult opponent to take on, but the Ghost Rider's cosmic might, unholy invulnerability, and soul-rending powers gave him the perfect tools to take out the main man.
That poor bastard didn't stand a ghost of a chance. Sorry, I know that was a Lobo.
The winner is Ghost Rider.
Ooh. The puns.
Thanks for...
I feel like they kind of glossed over that information where he was literally killing Celestials, though. Like,
Yeah, that's...
so, I mean, that's okay. I mean, that's whatever.
Well,
like, I like Ghost Rider a lot better, so.
Well, let's see what the like-dislike rate... So the like-dislike ratio mostly agrees with this video. So a lot of people think Ghost Rider won versus Lobo.
Like I said, if he was going to kill him, it was going to basically be that way. Like,
yeah, the Penitent Stare... Which,
I mean, it had to be
when
Zarathos.
the first Penitent Stare didn't
At least
work.
this wasn't like a, what, no way type thing. It's like, yeah, okay. And they went with that.
Yeah, I mean, I was surprised. I'm very surprised that it went this way. But
I mean, I don't know. Like, I think Lobo's a little bit much.
he is. But I think if you wanted to have fun with him, you could. I mean, because he's so ridiculous. I mean, the comedy sort of writes itself.
Well, yeah, I mean, with Lobo, like, iterations that I seem to like better where he's toned down a little bit. I mean, 'cause
his Justice League and
sometimes in the
ones.
comics it's like ridiculous. I mean,
Well, dude, Superman. I mean, just Superman alone is ridiculous, which is why I don't find his character that interesting. I mean,
because I like that Thanos was toned down a lot for the cinematic universe.
oh, dude, yeah, like, his obsession with death was gone.
Yeah,
One
that
of
was
the
kind of stupid.
problems
motivation.
with telling stories and stuff is once you get your characters past a certain power threshold,
It's just
there's nothing left you can do that's more interesting than like the most epic possible things.
Yeah.
Like there's a wall you hit eventually where you can't really bring any characters more powerful than they have been without just being like, all right, and this guy's so powerful he just destroyed the universe. The end, basically. you
Which
know?
is sort of why I like how God of War does things, because in every game there's a reason. It's not just like he wakes up and all of a sudden he forgets how to use his abilities. No, there's a legit reason why he loses his abilities. From the transition from the first game to the second game, it's because he literally he gets in a battle with the Colossus I think it's the Colossus of Rhodes, and effectively gets all, like, a lot of his equipment destroyed, but then it's all taken away from him, and all of his powers are taken away from him when Zeus kills him with the Blade of Olympus. And then in the third game, he literally falls into hell, into Hades, and has to swim through the river Styx, and all of his abilities are stripped away as he swims through the river Styx.
Yeah.
And
He
then
climbs out of hell.
yeah, and then in the new God of War, he is effectively grown complacent because there's nothing really left to challenge him until the intervening of the Norse gods, and thus he has to go on a journey and obtain more power so that he can complete his journey. And legit reasons like that are why I like storytelling like that versus Superman, where
That's
it's
why I
just,
liked whenever in Metroid Prime, instead of just starting you on the game with nothing again, like you have most of your abilities from the end of Super Metroid, and then while the ship is exploding, she gets blown backwards and like her suit malfunctions and stuff. Like I like when they give reasons that people have backtracked on power.
yeah.
At the start of like a new story segment of something.
Well, yeah, and
But it's like an anime and stuff like that, you know, you get like, usually characters start out pretty normal. They start to get powers. They get more and more powerful. They get to like a planet buster, as they call it, level where they like can destroy a planet. But then like
Dragon Ball
beyond
Z.
that, they have to keep coming up with stuff to do. And that's why like I'm hesitant to even watch Dragon Ball Super, because I'm like, this is just a little absurd that they're still going at this point.
Well, the
interdimensional tournament of fighters with
Yeah.
like these like god level beings like being entertained by it.
Well, honestly, Chad's watched it and he likes it. Me, I've watched a little bit of it, and the comedy is a lot more like Dragon Ball than Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah.
And that was a little bit weird for me, but I still liked it. One that actually I think is approaching things brilliantly and is building it up very smoothly and very solidly is My Hero Academia.
Yeah.
It's a slow build, but yet it's not.
Because nobody's at like Planet Buster level in that, so
and
it's
they probably
more
never will.
interesting.
They
Yeah.
probably never will. I mean, the closest one would be if Saitama, or not Saitama, if friggin' Midoriya just so happened to
like surpass
obtain all the
Might,
power and
basically.
surpass All Might, and then just to be like, I don't want this planet to be here anymore. Wha-bam! And
That's
then
right.
just
He
punch a
won't
hole
do,
through the
obviously,
core of the
so.
planet and destroy everything.
I don't even know that All Might had that much ability.
You never know. I mean, I don't know. I really don't. I don't think he would. I don't think he did. But at the same time, But I honestly just, when it gets to ridiculous levels, you kind of have to have fun with it, because I think people realize that we're effectively at the point of no return, where the characters are not inventive anymore and they're pretty much gods.
Well, because Marvel's kind of gone past that point with certain things to where it's almost like, I can't believe they're actually still coming up with stuff to make in this universe,
Well, not really, because I mean, we've had the glory days of the Avengers. I think a lot of people are going to look back on this era as the golden age of comic book movies.
Yeah, but I'm talking about in the comics.
Oh,
I can't believe they're still coming up with comics to make.
Sorry.
No, like the comics have gone like to like universe destroying levels already, and it's like, how do they keep coming up with anything interesting to do? And whenever they have characters that basically can either destroy the universe or stop someone that can destroy the universe.
Well,
So,
that's when you get events like the House of M, and then of course Infinite Crisis and stuff like that, which effectively rewrites the very fabric of the comic books as a whole. Like, for instance, House of M, Magneto's daughter, Scarlet Witch, effectively gets rid of the majority of the mutants and makes only I think it's only around 2% of the former mutant population has retained their powers, whereas the rest of them are gone, just like that. And Scarlet Witch, in turn, died for doing that. And it effectively restarted the X-Men, or restarted the X-Men from the ground up, and it's weird how they figure out ways to do it. And then of course there's the overall death of the Marvel Ultimate Universe, which was a bloody affair. Holy hell! I mean, you had Ant-Man, you had Giant Man literally picking up the Blob, squeezing him until his head was about to pop, and then biting his head off. And then you had Multi-Man make copies of himself and strap suicide bombs to him and crawl up Giant Man and blow up Giant Man. And then you had Doctor Strange going up against I think it was Magneto, and Magneto literally picked him up off the ground and squeezed and got some metal and squeezed it around him until Doctor Strange literally suffocated and died. And then we had the final showdown between Wolverine, Magneto, and the rest of the X-Men, where Magneto pretty much yanked all of Wolverine's adamantium out of his body, and then forced Cyclops' visor to look at Logan without the adamantium and fire on him and destroy him. And then after that, Magneto came out of his trance that he was in, because turns out he was being controlled by somebody, and he asks, "Where's Charles? Where's Wanda?" And then Cyclops looks at them and says, Don't you remember, Eric? You killed them." And then he activates his visor and blows Magneto's head off. And then at the end of the series, as far as I went to, it's literally Scott Summers standing there at a podium and saying, "We will now move forward to build a better future. We will now move to do things right." And then all of a sudden he gets shot in the head and dies. and then turns out it was Quicksilver who killed him. It's just like,
Damn.
yeah, it got brutal there at the end of the Marvel Ultimates. It got very brutal. And then there was, of course, weird storylines like Spider-Man where Another Day, where he pretty much died, came back, and was like, it was super freaking weird, man. Made no sense. I mean, comic books are weird, but I still love them. So it's a strange predicament we find ourselves in.
Yeah.
But anyway, enough of my bitching and moaning. We all lost, effectively.
I mean, I'm not mad though.
I'm not either.
I'm glad that Ghost Rider won.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why I said what I said. I was like, if he loses, it will be this way. So it's like, even though I didn't,
You kind of won. I'd say out of this, you
I
came
didn't
out the best.
win, but like I just wanted to say that because I was like, this is the way I feel it might go.
Yeah. So
Zarathos won.
Zarathos won. So we can chalk it up to that officially. Well, if you all want to see more from Death Battle, click the link down below in the description. Go to their original channel. They have literally over 100 of these for you all to watch and react to and have fun with. And if you want to see more from us, there's a little subscribe button right down there that you can click, and a little bell that you can ring to stay notified. And I guess until next time, signing off, I'm Nate.
Micah.
I'm Nick.
And we will see you all in the next one. Peace out.